Welcome back to Exposure. I'm your host, Steve Rodajev, and we're here with local filmmaker Clint LaForest. We were just talking about your certain styles of how you did things with Keepsake. Another part of your work, it seems like you do some dark themed stories.
Yeah.
Talk about Here Where We Part. That's another piece of your work. Talk a little bit about.
It was an entry for the Project 4 competition in Maumee Film Festival. So that got started with just Matt and I going, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's come up with something. And then we brought on my wife, of course, and to help with some of the writing because she's had so much experience with script writing at that point. And you're given a subject. You don't know what the subject is up until that first meeting, and then you go from there. And I guess there was something just kind of sitting in Matt's mind, and which was a love affair, and having the actual love affair be between a man and his imaginary friend, I guess, or imaginary person. And then we tied it in with another imaginary person in there, which was fantastic. And we like, you mentioned like the dark subjects, and we really do kind of like centering around some of those things because that's, life isn't glitz and glam most of the time. And while they might not be the most depressive subjects, but it can still be a little bit dark. Can still be a little. We build ourselves off of these and we build our jaded nature off of some of these experiences in our lives. When we focus around the dark subjects, it really builds this deep story without much being told. If you look at Keepsake, you're talking about the loss of someone, but also gaining of an experience or someone else in their life. When you look at Here Where We Part, you're looking at someone who has mental issues, and he knows it, and he is struggling with trying to get over it because he actually enjoys part of that mental illness. And you don't need to tell much to be able to build a story around it. And I think that's one of the greatest things about some of these dark stories.
Let's take a look at Here Where We Part.
How long has she been there?
I don't know, Doc. I just love her so much that I feel like she's always been a part of me, you know? We just have this indescribable connection.
I see. How does it make you feel when you see her?
I'm torn. Some days I think that I could spend the rest of my life with her. And she's so beautiful. You know everything about her. Her energy, her light, her soul, they just have this hold over me. I don't think I'd ever be complete without her. But sometimes I do feel trapped. She knows it's not okay to go out in public, because people will stare. They always stare.
What are some of your inspirations as a filmmaker? Who are you influenced by?
So there have been a number of different people I've been influenced by over the past, and if we go back to the whole central dark theme is everything, I really found a lot of inspiration in some of Ridley Scott's work. It seems like an odd inspiration, seeing as we are kind of a rough and ready kind of company, filmmaking company, but we're trying to go towards more of the professional, shot by shot, make it look fantastic. I mean, that's kind of a progression towards that. But if you look at Blade Runner and a lot of other films that are done by Ridley Scott, you'll see some relations. I hope you see some relations to it. But also, I got influenced by another movie called Magnolia, which was done by P.T. Anderson, and it's fantastic. It just the storytelling in that doesn't give you the entire story, the life story of all the different characters in it. It only centers on the small segments of the life that are tied together. And I know that that storytelling, it has been shown within what I've done so far, especially with Keepsake and Hero Report. We're only doing segments of someone's life. Locally, I've also found some inspiration as well. While I was working at WGTE, I was lucky enough to work alongside a good friend of mine now, David Kuznicki.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
know him very well.
Yeah, I know he's been on the show before.
Yep, he's been on the show. Yeah.
But his professionalism and seeing his process, at least a little bit, actually inspired me a little bit, which led me into be interested in some documentary making as well.
Okay.
And I've kind of started down that path as well. So more than telling just the dark stories that are in our minds, kind of starting towards telling the dark stories that are real and are pervasive to people's lives.
Let's look at some more work from Clint LaForest.
Why isn't he sleeping? Why doesn't he eat? Damn it! You left me alone to do this by myself?